Welcome to the Israel Ramos Show, where I discuss different topics that I believe are important to address in today's changing world, and I try to give you the best information to the best of my ability to make a change. Today I have Tom Pagano. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Thank you, Israel. It's always good to be here.
And it's always good to have you. Today we're going to talk about road rage and the pros and the cons about it. And road rage. What is road rage? Road rage is when a person is driving a vehicle, whether it's a truck, a bus, or a car, and they're frustrated to the point where they're throwing their cars at someone who they got into the road rage with. It's a very horrible thing that goes on the highways and interstates and even on the local streets. When a person has road rage, it's because they were very frustrated and now they're just angry to the point where they just don't care what they do or what they say. And you could go on YouTube and it's all over social media, road rage videos. And when I've watched road rage videos, I really don't like to watch them because they're very disturbing to me. You see people fighting and breaking people's windows, or people cutting people off and causing somebody to get killed, to lose control. It's really horrible. So what do we do? How can we prevent road rage? Well, we can never control what a person is doing in their car because you don't have enough police people to go out there and pull these people over. But I have a couple of suggestions for people who do get into road rage. A lot of times people get into road rage because of something they're going through, something that happened to them. So they go in their car and mentally, in that mental state, they were already all angry and everything. They just take it out on the first person they see. They easily are honking at someone to go faster. I've had a lot of people do that, and that's very upsetting when I'm driving my car and I'm just trying to get where I'm going, and you get a car right behind me provoking me into anger. Those kind of people should be pulled over and fined. Because they have no right to do that. They have no right to bully anyone. I've been a truck driver and a New York City taxi driver first for 7 years. Then I became a truck driver. I don't want to say the company for over 25 years now, and I've seen it all, believe me. And I'm totally against people who get into road rage. There's nothing good comes out of it. Innocent people die. They get shot. They get killed. They get seriously injured. Nothing good comes out of it. And I think we as citizens of this world, of this earth that we live in, if we see someone getting into road rage, we should call 911 right away and report them, because we should not tolerate people doing that. Sometimes people have guns in their car and they start shooting. It doesn't have to be that they throw the car at you. But if you see someone behind your car trying to bully you by trying to get you to go faster, it's very easy to get upset at them. Not everybody reacts the same. Not everybody's calm when you look at your rearview mirror and you got somebody tailgating you and forcing you to honking at you, making you go faster even though you know you're driving the speed limit. Instead of letting that person get to you and affecting your mood, because they will affect your mood because they're provoking you into anger, just carefully look at your mirrors when it's safe to move out of their way. Don't just rush out of their way, because you could get into an accident and they're just going to keep going. When it's safe to do so, take your time changing the lane. Make sure it's safe to change lanes. Change the lane and let them go. All it takes is 2 or 3 seconds. Before you know it, they're gone. They're gonna fly by you. They're gonna run right past you, because they're in the state of mind that they're in. You want nothing to do with that. I mean, not everybody deals with that. There's been times in my life where people have done that to me, and that has really upset me. And I have fallen, I have fallen into road rage. I know what it's like, but I thank God I'm not doing that anymore, because I could have got killed, or someone else could have got killed, or even an innocent person, while me and another person in road rage will get killed. You know, I want nothing to do with it. Now, if a person either cuts me off or is bullying me to move out of their way, when it's safe to do so, I put the signal lights and I just get out of their way, because that's all you can do, is just get out of these people's way until hopefully there's a cop nearby that will see what they're doing and pull them over. You know, because we should not tolerate a person provoking other people with their cars. I see it all the time that I'm on the highways. And a person, if you feel like someone has got you angry to the point where you want to throw the car at them, just remember that it's better to let it go. They're not worth it. They're gonna ruin your mood. Someone is, either you or the person, could get seriously injured or killed. Is it worth it? No, it's not. Do not allow anyone to change your mood. If someone cuts you off or throws their car is right behind in your bumper, like I said, when it's safe to do so, just get to the other lane, let them go. All it takes is like at least 3 seconds, and they'll be gone. It's not worth it. Believe me, it's not worth it, because I know what it's like to, like I said, I myself have fallen into road rage. I don't want to be a hypocrite. When I talk about any topics, I try to keep it real. Keeping it real is very important. It's not good to pretend to be something you're not. And I always try to improve myself every day as a person. But that's why today I'm discussing road rage with Tom Pagano. So, what do you have to say about road rage, Tom?
Well, first off, me personally, I've seen road rage, family members get into it, and it's never good. I myself, I never really had road rage. I never really had an encounter happen to me personally. Why? Because I'm a driver. I'm not an aggressive driver, and I'm a very courteous driver. I don't want my vehicle to be a weapon. And you know, when someone has road rage, they become one with the car. They forget, because it's emotional. And when you're emotional, you let your emotions go. You're not psychologically aware of what you're doing. So you don't want to be one with the car when you're angry. You want to actually just, take a step back and just, count to 3 and let the driver pass you and not get into it with the other driver who's having road rage, because before you know it, it's going to be over. And 3 minutes, 3 seconds, whatever, it's going to pass.
He made a mistake. He said 3 minutes. It says 3 seconds. Or even, before you know it, they'll be out of your way. That's all it takes. 1, 2, 3 seconds and it's gone.
Oh, I meant 3 seconds. In other words, 3 minutes. I meant is that, someone.
You're saying 3 minutes again.
Yeah, I meant 3. Oh no, I thank you, Israel. I meant 3 seconds. Right. I guess that's the 3 second rule. Anyhow, I drive like a turtle, so it's 3 minutes for me. No, I'm just kidding. But all in all, seriously, road rage is never good, especially when there's children in the car. You never want the young ones to see, vulgar, hear vulgar language and aggressive behavior, violent behavior in front of the children. It scares them. And I was driving with my brother once on the highway, and there was road rage between my brother and another driver, and his girlfriend was in the front and I was in the back. We were visiting someone, a family member in the hospital, and I remember we were telling him to let the guy go. Just don't even acknowledge him. And they were at it, and they were just not paying attention to the road. And my brother was basically giving us his reason why he did it. There's no reason. Our lives were, threatened. Basically, we told him, and we said that's never good, And thank God he reasoned enough to just let the driver go and ignore him.
What I've learned to do, when I fell into road rage, because like I said, I've been a truck driver for 25 years. Before that, I was a New York City cab driver, and I had the privilege to pick up a lot of interesting people. Celebrities were also interesting, like I met Julia Roberts. She was a nice person. But when you drive for a living and you drive a long time, in and day out, or you drive to work, let's say over an hour or 2 hours, you get so frustrated. The traffic, you could be running late. It gets to you after a while if you're doing it every day. So what I've learned to do is I put on calm music, or music that I like, that keeps me calm and happy.
That's a good idea, Israel. Very good idea.
Yeah, thank you. Or maybe you could listen to the comedy that you like, your favorite comedy, and just listen to that, but stay focused on the road. You don't want to be listening to focus on what you're listening to, that you're not paying attention to the road. But that's what's worked for me. I'll listen to classical or maybe calm, relaxing music, the ocean, whatever it is that you like, or comedy, you want to laugh. It's good to laugh. And this way, you control the state of mind that you're in by the stuff that you're listening to on your way to work or on your way to anywhere. You have to find a way to avoid and ignore these people, because these people will get to you. And nobody likes to be provoked. Nobody, whether you're a woman or a man or a teenager, nobody likes to be provoked. And that's what these people are doing. You see them on the highways all the time, and they can get you killed. They're driving too fast, very aggressive, weaving in and out of lanes, and that's very unprofessional. And like I said, there's cops are not always everywhere. They cannot be everywhere. We don't have enough cops to be everywhere. So you have to be in control of the state of mind that you're going to be in, and do not allow anyone to change your mood, because someone cutting you off or being on top of your bumper can change your mood in a second. And I know, of course, I've been there, done that. And I've learned to just ignore them and listen to music, listen to an interview of someone. It could be a celebrity or anything you want to. It could be about health, any topic you want to listen to. But at least that will occupy your mind to stay positive and not allow someone out there to change your mood. Because you want to get to where you're going safely. You have loved ones, you have children, brothers and sisters, friends that are important to you, and you're important to them. And you don't want to allow, excuse my expression, some jackass to destroy or ruin your mood. Remember that you're important, and the world is a better place with you in it. It's not everybody. It's not every trucker or every bus driver or every car that's doing that. It's always that small group that ruins it for everybody.
Right. Yeah, and also to remember that you have no control over anybody else. You only have control over what you do. That's just so important to learn. You can't change other people's behavior. You can only change yours.
That's exactly right, Tom. You cannot change or control what other people do. We cannot, and like I said, there's not enough cops to be everywhere. And when people see, I notice when I'm driving on the highway, as soon as people see a cop, everybody slows down. As soon as they pass the cop, they go back to their negative behavior. Not everybody, but those people that are being aggressive. And we may not be able to change the world, but we can make a difference in our behavior, in controlling who we are. That's all you can do. You could try to your best abilities control who you are. Stay away from negative people, negative music. Always protect your eyes. It's better to watch cartoons than to watch garbage like pornography, because all that stuff does is destroy your mind. Or even hate radio. Stay away from hate radio. It does you no good. It's better to just always try to learn and improve yourself as a person. And even if whatever it is that you're going through, maybe you're going through a breakup, maybe you lost a loved one, and your state of mind, you're not really there because you're upset or sad or depressed. Like I said, try to find something to listen to that will change your mind, or because you don't want the mood that you're in that's down affect your driving. A lot of times it's a good thing to just pull over. If you feel you're not in the right state of mind, find a safe place to pull over and just listen to music or something. Drink some water, get yourself something, a cold drink or something. But don't stay in that state of mind, and don't get into road rage with that person, because that could cost you your life, cause some innocent people to get killed, and the other person to get killed. Is it worth it to wind up in jail for manslaughter? It isn't worth it. We have a responsibility to drive right. That's why we got a license to drive.
Yeah, it's a very sad story. A neighbor, he had road rage and he assaulted the other driver, and the other driver almost died from the injuries, and now the neighbor is doing jail time, which is very, very sad, because most people are good people, but road rage turns them into just, they're not themselves. So be mindful, and because a lot of people have road rage, and when it results to violence, they regret it later most of the time. You want to get home to your loved ones safely.
Yes, exactly. And to those people that are haters, that may listen to this podcast and say, may use foul language. You can say whatever you want, but you know that we're speaking the truth. And like the Bible says, the truth will set you free. If you are being aggressive and you are provoking for people, you are looking for trouble, and you're going to find it. You will go to jail for manslaughter, because now people have cameras, and I highly recommend that you put a camera in your car. It doesn't cost that much. Sometimes we spend so much on things that we didn't even need to spend the money on things that are not that important. I really highly recommend that you put a camera in your vehicle, for in the front of your car, in the back of your car. So this way, you'll be able to give that to the police, and the camera will say it all, that it wasn't your fault, that you were being provoked, that you were being harassed. And like I said, to those people that don't think that this podcast is important, you will go to jail for manslaughter. Do not think that you're going to keep getting away with cutting people off, provoking people, annoying people, aggravating people, because there's a God in heaven, and your time will come where eventually you will be stopped for your negative, aggressive behavior. You need to cut it out, and you need to share the road. You're not the only one on the road. Because a lot of people out there driving like they're the only ones. You need to respect that you got women and children on that road, elderly people. Respect the road. You are not the only one on this planet. And with little time that we have on this planet, because tomorrow is not promised to nobody. So you treat people the way you want to be treated, and be kind to yourself, love yourself, and do not allow anyone to change your mood. Ignore them. It only takes 2 or 3 seconds for you to just change your lane when it's safe to do so, and before you know it, in 3 seconds they're gone. But you allowing that person to change your mood and getting yourself into road rage, they're only bringing you down to their level. You're better than that. You don't need to stoop down to their level. And I'm talking about there's a lot of people listening to this podcast and saying, he's right. I have myself have fallen into road rage. I mean, you could be the nicest person in the world, but road rage can happen to anybody. The thing is reason I'm having this podcast is to remind you, because most people know what I'm saying and what Tom is saying, but it's good to be reminded. And I hope that this podcast has been helpful to you as a positive, great reminder. You have a lot of loved ones that want to see you. They don't want to see you in the grave, or see you locked up for road rage, and then it leads to manslaughter because you caused somebody to die. On innocent person. It isn't worth it. People see it, especially when it starts to rain. We're supposed to adjust our speed according to the road condition. That's why in another podcast that I did, I highly recommended that we contact Washington and we let them know. I left the link below. It was one of the podcasts. It's about truckers and buses, I believe the title. How to stop truckers and buses from going too fast and too slow. And I suggested that we let Washington know, the link is below on that podcast, that to govern the engines of the buses and truckers, because buses and truckers have no business, as heavy as they are, going more than 65 miles an hour. It's where they bring it to the mechanic, and the mechanic does something to the engine where they'll only be able to go 65 miles an hour. And I believe that the cars should be governed as 70. This way it prevents people from catching up to each other. If they left 15 minutes ahead of each other, they won't be able to catch up, because truckers and buses can only go 65. And buses carry a lot of passengers. And I've seen a lot of bus drivers with road rage. They drive very aggressive. They're going 75, 80 miles an hour when they're carrying little children in those buses, maybe going to Atlantic City or somewhere else, because they're on vacation. And those bus drivers are going way too fast. Those bus driver engines need to be governed at 65, and a mechanic can do that. So let Washington know they should govern the truckers and the buses, so we could have a safer highways and people will get home. I like to know that my daughter, who recently started less than a year, she got her license. I want to know that she could be safe on the highways. I don't want to have to worry, and I want to know, and you want to know that your daughter, your son is going to get home safe. So we have to stick together, make a difference in this world, stop these people from going too fast. And that's basically it. Next time somebody tries to, even if you're not in your car or you're in the street, ignore negative people. Stay far away from them. They are not worth you lowering yourself to their level. That's why there's a lot of people in jail today, because of road rage and because they didn't control your temper. We need to control our tempers. It's very easy to lose it and wind up in jail for not controlling your temper. Nobody's worth you losing your temper. Let it go. You got to love yourself. Be kind to yourself.
Yes, it's true. Being kind to yourself is realizing that,
it's important.
Yes, it's very important. We're all, we all in this together, and we all want to get to our destination safely, and that's what's the bottom line: getting to your destination, or whether you work for a living on the road, like a lot, like Israel does, and a lot of other people do, or you're just going out for a drive with your family, visiting grandma. Just realize that it's not worth the road rage is never worth acting out on the road, and you want to make sure that you get to your destination always safely.
Yeah, that's very true. So I hope that this podcast discussing the pros and the cons about road rage, the ins and outs. Remember that the world is a better place with you in it. You are important. Don't allow anybody to change your mood. Continue to love yourself, be kind to yourself, and be kind to others, and treat others the way you want to be treated. Not, we're in this world just a little time. Tomorrow's not promised to anyone, so every day we should make every day count and encourage one another.
And it's a privilege to be driving. It's a privilege. Not everyone has a car, so there has to be, when you have a privilege, such as owning a vehicle, being able to support a vehicle financially. There's a responsibility. You're held accountable for your actions.
That is so true. And there's, we go through so much just even to buy a car. We got to get a loan. We have car payments. Respect other people's property. People have enough problems. A lot of people in the hospital that shouldn't be there because of someone's carelessness and stupidity and road rage and anger. Or even people get into fights. Is it worth it to hurt someone? I know what it's like to be hurt. I know what it's like to wind up in the hospital. I don't want to be hurt, and I wouldn't want to hurt anyone. And you couldn't pay me enough money to hurt anyone, because I love the world and I love people. And I won't be able to change the world, but I like to make a difference and be kind, smile at someone, help someone cross the street, open the door for someone. It makes it a better world to just be kind. It doesn't cost much. When you get upset, it's just a waste of negative energy.
And a lot of times, avoiding road rage is when a driver aggressively rolls down the window, starts yelling, is to say, I'm sorry. If it's your fault. Sometimes if it's not your fault, just say you're sorry. Just to get,
calm them down.
Yeah, just to calm them down, and just to let go of your pride and just say sorry, have a nice day, and, let them go on their way.
That's true. Sometimes we let our pride get the best of us, and we don't want to back down. And if a person comes right off our face, it's better to just say, look, if I made a mistake, I'm sorry, even though you felt it wasn't your fault, just to calm that person down.
Diffuse
the situation.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. You be the water. If they're the fire, you shut them off with the water. You control. You always want to be in control and remain calm.
It just that avoids a whole lot of trouble ahead of you.
That's right. Anyway, thank you for listening to today's podcast. I hope that we made a difference in the information that we gave you to the best of our ability. And remember that you're important, and the world's a better place with you in it. And remember, it only takes a second. You to just ignore them; they'll be gone. And may be safe. God bless you, and
bye bye.